The HuffPost, formerly known as the Huffington Post, has some breaking news. A tape might exist of Trump doing something in an elevator. Though exactly where that something is and what that something might be, no one in the media can say. That's because no one in the media seems to have seen the tape or is even confident it exists. In other news, Senator Rand Paul was trending on Twitter yesterday after stating some facts on CNN, which, as you know, is an extremely rare occurrence. And when it does happen, it often hurts liberals' feelings, which is what happened here.
Just 48 hours ago, the U.S. government, the Trump administration, said that top Russian military intelligence officers orchestrated a massive hack to affect the U.S. election. How much do you want President Trump to try to hold Putin accountable for that?
I think really we mistake our response if we think it's about accountability from the Russians. They're another country. They're going to spy on us. They do spy on us. They're going to interfere in our elections. We also do the same. Dov Levin at Carnegie Mellon studied this over about a 50-year period in the last century and found 81 times that the U.S. interfered in other countries' elections. So we all do it. What we need to do is make sure our electoral process is protected. And I think because this has gotten partisan and it's all about partisan politics, we've forgotten that really the most important thing is the integrity of our election.
How dare you say that we've interfered in other countries' elections? This is preposterous, isn't it, former CIA Director James Woolsey?
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably, but it was for the good of the system in order to avoid the communists from taking over. For example, in Europe, in 47, 48, 49, the Greeks and the Italians, we
don't do that now, though? We don't mess around other people's elections, Jim?
Only for a very good cause.
Can you do that? Do a Vine video on a former CIA director.
Only for a very good cause in the interests of democracy.
All right, thanks for being here. It's always great to see you.
But at least when we do it, it's always for a good cause. Right, former Attorney General Eric Holder and presidential historian John Meacham?
But we've done it. We've meddled in people's elections.
Picky.
But really, I mean,
sure.
Is there anything? I mean, how many countries did we do that to during the Cold War? Quite a few.
And it almost never worked. So we can't even run their country's elections, much less our own.
Right. And simply because we did it and it was wrong to do it doesn't mean that it's okay for people to do it to us. I mean, I would hope that we as a nation...
It just makes the argument from overseas a little harder.
So this means that Rand Paul was right. But take a look at just a small sample of the meltdown that Rand Paul's comments caused online. MSNBC's Sandra Mitchell says Senator Rand Paul inexplicably suggests that the U.S. has interfered in foreign elections over decades to justify Kremlin hacking and weaponizing stolen Democratic emails in 2016. Lawrence O'Donnell's producer over at MSNBC, Kyle Griffin, said that Rand Paul sought to justify Russia's interference, claiming that all countries meddle in foreign elections. It's a good thing Rand Paul didn't mention that Israel's been flagged as a top spy threat to the United States in one of the documents that Edward Snowden leaked to the press. In other news, let's take a quick look at what Democrats have done to San Francisco, America's most liberal city.
Oh, in San Francisco, the new mayor, London Breed, walked the streets today, the same streets she's vowed to clean up. Now, at one point, she and her staff walked right by a man who appears to be prepping a needle. You see it right there. Okay. Mayor Breed, who grew up in the city as well, plans to clean up San Francisco, in part by opening the nation's first supervised injection site. That's where people can shoot up their own drugs indoors under supervision instead of on the streets.
Wow, I mean, what's next? Are you going to say that there's literal human feces covering the streets?
You're a native of San Francisco. Is this the worst you've seen it?
I will say that there's more feces on the sidewalks than I've ever seen, growing up here. That was something that wasn't the norm.
Than you've ever seen.
Than I've ever seen, for sure. And that is a huge problem. And we're not just talking about from dogs, we're talking about from humans.
This is not a parody interview, by the way. This is really the mayor of San Francisco talking about what it's really like to live in her city. A city which used to be run by Gavin Newsom, who will most likely be the next governor of California, who will then turn the entire state into an outhouse. This is why you gotta mark your calendar and get out and vote for the midterm elections in November, because it's critical that we maintain the majority in the House and the Senate. What do you guys think of my new shirt? It's the Honest Abe shirt. You can get yours at MarkDice.com or click the link in the description below. Your purchase helps keep this channel going, so I appreciate your support. Check back tomorrow for a new report, and I will see you soon.